I said, one day, somebody, what's wrong? I won't bite you.
Well, I need plenty of leg room here.
Oh, at least while you're not looking, I wouldn't. It'd be quick. I'm big, but I can be quick.
Mr. Quick.
Yeah. No, literally.
That was always your game.
Yeah.
That was always your game plan.
Yeah.
Quickness.
Oh, yeah. Built for comfort, not speed. Well, I had it on the charger.
Only charged about 60%.
Is that right? You need to have, what's his name, take a look at it.
60% is enough for me.
Well, yeah, as long as,
At the end of the
problem is if you forget, and then
That's true. Yeah.
then it goes down, then because it takes him things forever. If they go totally dead, ooh.
Yes.
Because he had to get me a different one there a couple of years ago because it went down like that. Morning.
Same to you. That back in the face.
Okay.
About mine.
I pulled that one out of the archive. That's an old one.
That's an old one, but-
I'm probably gonna fit.
I wore that IU jacket the other day.
Mhm.
I said, is that 20 years? I said, how about 30? 35. I mean, 35.
Oh, yeah. It's at least
That red and white one.
but it's advantage. I went to one of the bowl games. I took it because it's,
Oh,
if
yeah.
it gets wet, it sheds water pretty good. And that's when we went out to Calvin. And some guy said, "Hey, where'd you get that?" I said, "Dude, that's like 100 years old."
It could be 35 years.
It's at least 30 years.
Because remember when we used to take the van to go to the games?
When Mike would complain. Him and Steve get into it. Yeah.
He fell out of the van.
Oh, yeah, I remember that night. I think I picked him up. And threw him back in. Jeez.
Tony, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes, sir.
Quick stand, meeting started.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most kind and gracious Father in heaven, thankful for this time that you've allowed us to have. We're thankful for the portion of health that we have, mindset that we have, that we can be a part of this meeting this morning. We pray, Father, that you be with those present. Give us a ready recollection of the things that we've proposed to say. We ask, Father, as always, that you be with us as leaders, that we can lead in a way that would be responsible and correct in your sight. We ask especially for those who have chosen to protect us in service. Be with them, keep them safe. There are many out there this morning that may be cold. Please be with them and be with those that are helping them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Morning.
Thank you.
Come on. All All right, while Tony's
There you go.
making his rounds, everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the previous meeting. If so, could I have a motion?
Thank you, sir. So moved.
Motion made by Gerald, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tony, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Floyd.
Yeah. How are you?
Great.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, our January deposits was 92,442.78. Total runs was 236. Breakdown of those runs are on that second page. I handed it to you. Like I said, it's right there, right on the same amount of runs we average about every month. It's almost like clockwork. Like I said, it's 236. Don't have a lot to talk about today, since it's just the beginning of the year. Do have some things I want to mention. On the Justin Granberg come down about a year and a half ago and looked at our unit that we will need to get remounted. He came down and did a check on our box unit for remount options. He did email me a statistical sheet last night that has the price on it, which I'll tell you here in a minute. Like I said, McQueen Specialty Vehicles, Crossroads, McQueen bought them out. They're a pretty reputable company when it comes to specialty vehicles, fire apparatus, and that kind of thing. The chassis quoted, I told them that I wanted the F series instead of the E series. Want to get away from this E series chassis. F series will be is what we would be a significant upgrade to what we need. It would be 4-wheel drive, which we need that. And it would also have, like I said, it also have an air ride system on it, which it would be a lot smoother, that type of thing. F series, it would be more of a pickup cab looking chassis versus our van looking chassis now. Also would update the box that we had. They would be putting in a new air conditioning system in the box, air conditioning and heating, upgrading that, upgrading the electrical system on it, putting in a new inverter and things of that nature, upgrading the lights, upgrading the emergency lights on it as well, and that kind of thing. Like I said, even with the remount, he was telling me it would take, like I said, several months to get it started. And then it'd take approximately 120 days to completion. And I put it in there, he was telling me this week that if we would have ordered it today, it would be September or October of 27 before it would be ready. He said they're not having any issues as far as getting chassis right now. He said they're not. He said it's just basically the time and length would be because of the fact of you got to jump in line to get them done. So that would be something that we probably need to take a real serious look at. Like I said, it would be 2027 before it would even be here, be late in 2027. He sent me, I didn't know what, he told me it'd take a couple weeks before he sent me something on it. Like I said, I got it late last night in an email.
he sent me a quote on what it would basically run to do that. And if we're looking at 205,000 is what we're looking at, which technically, I don't want to use this, I use this term lightly, but that would be a steal. That's a rather good price, very good price for a four-wheel drive F-Series chassis with the options on it that we're with what we're getting. Like I said, we're saving a ton of money. We're saving a ton of money because of the box we have, saving a ton of money because of the power load. We can reuse the power loads. This truck, if it came new, this type of truck would be about $370,000 once it was delivered to us. So that's a significant amount of savings there. There's several options we could look at. There's several options that we can lease them. We can make lease payments. Several options available to us. I got the whole packet email this morning. I didn't have time to get it all printed out this morning, but there's several things you can do. Just for instance, if it was leased, we could lease it for a 5-year term. It'd be $40-something thousand a year to lease it. We've always usually just bought them outright. Of course, you know, when you lease and stuff of that nature, the price actually goes up somewhat through the leasing things. But they also ran it through the bid source well contract that we have here with the county. I'm not really sure I'm not real educated on how it works. I'm sure you guys are because of the bidding thing, but Sourcewell had a contract number and all that kind of thing. So it would be a viable option, you know, like I said, to be thinking about that because of the time it's going to take for us to get it. So, and of course, you know, like I said, the longer we wait, the longer they push it back. So it would be something that we probably need to, like I said, take a real serious look at and go from there.
Have we been purchasing these cab and chassis through Crossroads or McQueen now?
Yeah.
All 5 trucks. Guys, help me out here. Don't they tack on a little on top of that? They got to tack on 10%. Everybody does. What if we considered a direct purchase for the cab and chassis? Do they frown on that?
Direct purchase as far as
The county, instead of buying the cab and chassis through.
But you gotta have them to do the remount.
yeah, they have.
I understand that.
But
They also have to modify the chassis a little bit. He was telling me to accommodate, you know, our box and stuff. So it would probably be.
Well, they do that up there though. In other words.
Yeah, they do it up there.
That cab and chassis, it doesn't care where it came from or where it was purchased.
I don't know.
Whether you would have to modify the frame or not, it's irrelevant. If they're all coming out of the factory the same, are they not?
I don't know if they get them like, if they may get them at a cheaper rate because of the fleets that they get. You know.
Well, I think we could ask for a detailed itemization.
I've got that. It's in my
Shows us
email.
what,
I mean,
it shows us what they paid for the chassis, and then you'd have a better opportunity to know if there may be people at the Ford plant we could contact and as a county and, you know, get a better deal. Just like Todd said, you don't know until you ask.
Yeah.
There may be people in the Ford line that handle governmental purchases that.
is that a 350 series or a
450?
450.
F-Series 450,
Yeah.
four-wheel drive.
I don't,
Like I said, the cost of the remount is not really much in the chassis as it is just the labor. It's labor intensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, they have to do, you know, they have to keep everything up to KKK standards and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I mean, I can call him and ask him about that. But we, you know, it's, every time we've got one from them, you know, we haven't done that in the past.
Probably the price, I mean, I'm sure they're a fleet dealer, so
Yeah.
I don't know that you would save
Yeah.
any money
Yeah.
because they probably get the fleet discount because they,
Crossroads was a fleet.
right.
Crossroads was, I don't know about McQueen.
I'm sure McQueen is, I mean, McQueen's big. It's
Yeah,
a big company.
If they took them over, I'm sure they got a fleet number, so they,
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
a
don't
big,
know. But we
I mean,
can check.
yeah. But anyway, like I said, I was gonna print it all out, but the email package is rather extensive. He's got everything in there, but like I said, I mean, for that type of truck, you know, for that kind of money, like I said, we're saving a ton by remounting that box. And, like I said, that, you know, them power load systems are $100,000 themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, and it's just, that's a big savings right there. Even though, you know, somebody might say 205,000, I think the last one we got was,
Close to 3.
Three,
you know,
227,000 plus the load.
the load, yeah.
Load itself.
yeah.
So
So,
box was 227.
so that's I mean, he was in his email, you know, he told me, he said he was actually surprised it came in that kind, you know, at that price. He really was. So, I mean, he's, you know, they're a decent company to work with. They are, I mean, they're right up in northern Indiana. You know, if you have to get up there for some reason, you can drive 4 hours to be there versus having to drive to Minnesota, Mississippi, or someplace like that. And, you know, anytime I need parts, I can call. They have my parts here within 2 or 3 days usually. So, I mean, if they need to. But anyway, like I said, that's something, you know, we need to be looking at. So
where they located, Tony?
they're up in up by Elk Harbor,
Elk Harbor,
Indiana. Yeah.
When is the truck due to be rotated?
About that time next year.
About that time, so if we wait, then we're gonna go past that time. or-
Yes.
Mhm.
It needs to be budgeted or money appropriated, so Tony can go ahead and get that scheduled in. Otherwise, we're gonna be pushing in 2028 in 2 more months.
Right,
But it would be like I said, the upgrade that we're looking, you know, the upgrade we're looking at was a 4-wheel drive. But we do need that. I mean, you know, I know snows like this don't come around very often, but it's still, you know, I've hung them trucks up on wet grass before.
Muddy drive, muddy driveways.
Muddy drives and stuff like that. It's not
Put
just,
driveways in.
you know, it's not just snow. It's, you know, it's mud. It's like I say, it's wet grass. So, you know, that would, a lot of, you know, and a lot of services are getting out of that E-Series and moving to the F-Series. Like I said, because like I said, they're a lot heavier.
Yeah.
They're a lot heavier truck. The ride is so much better, with that air ride in the back. So it would be a lot of, there'd be a lot of benefits to that. So,
Well, in the past now, I'm speaking in the past, as I said, that's what me and Bubba used to do, sell vehicles, but my thought on it, it's a good idea to upgrade to the F-Series because you got steel gauging that's so much more density wise. You just got a much heavier framing, much heavier chassis. So all the suspension and all the braking is just heavy duty.
Yeah.
Where it would, a lot more so than the E-Series.
So that, one of the biggest things is when it comes to maintenance is the ease of working on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The E-Series, nobody likes working on.
No,
and this would still be a gas unit.
right.
You have an option of diesel versus gas, but I told him, you know, we would need the gas unit. So, it would still be a gas unit, but, you know, it would be, like I said, it would, and like I said, all emergency lights would be upgraded to what they call the strobe package, which would be, you know, a lot better than halogen lights that we have now. So, I mean, it would, yeah, I mean, I was happy. I thought it'd be a lot more money than that. I really did. And, I was happy when I seen that figure. So, you know, I mean, like I said, I've got, like I said, I've got the entire proposal. I can print it off, email it to you, or forward it to you, or however you want me to do it. But like I said, it would be something that we need to, you know, proceed with and see what we want to do. So,
This need to be brought before the council, or is this something you guys can do as far as saying yea or nay?
Well, here's how that's gonna work, I think. Help me out here. We go ahead and order it, assuming that the council will approve it. And if they don't, what the hell's wrong with it? And if we don't get it approved, then you've told me hundreds of times, they don't care. If they don't do this, they're so busy that they could care less.
like I said, there wouldn't be no money, you know, if we done something like it, just like it always is. We don't have to pay nothing until the truck's done.
Yeah, there's no down payment.
Yeah, there's nothing there. It's not gonna cost us anything. And like I said, there's several, I've got that in that packet, on my computer. There's several options that, you know, we can do. I mean, there, you know, financing options that we could do with that. So you just pay it all off, be done with it, or you can lease it, or you can make, you know, certain payments a year, however we need to do it, so.
I mean, if you're gonna have an ambulance service, you gotta,
Do you have anything in your
Something you
budget that, for like capital gains?
Well, we were going to that one time, but then they said we couldn't do that.
We can't carry over
Oh, okay.
from one year to the next.
Can't carry over and create.
We can't establish a savings account for an ambulance.
But also was thinking about the, you know, like the stipend, you know, money there too, that, you know, that could come into play with that as well. I don't know how much that's.
Well, we're right there in the ballpark. Last year we budgeted $550 for the stipend. We only used $350,
Yeah.
$349 and some odd
Something
cents.
like that, yeah.
So,
What we saved last year would have paid for the truck, because we was 209,000 under budget, so we'd had 4,000 left over.
yeah, it's right there in the ballpark. So it's not like,
If we can do the same thing again this year we did last year.
it's not like we're budgeting more. We might have to just a little bit, but nothing near like we were. And
I don't think, yeah.
remind everybody, this is not one line of business where you can afford downtime. Downtime means somebody could die. And we've got to keep our equipment up. We're on a schedule, a replacement schedule. We've known this for years. We knew when this was coming up. We were fortunate enough to receive quite a bit of federal money through COVID and ARP funds, so on and so forth. First round of COVID, second round of COVID funds to purchase 2 new ambulances, which helped us tremendously and really basically bought us, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
So we were very fortunate in that respect. So Now we're back to a normal schedule of replacing the cabin chat or doing the box transfer. So, and then when we do this will be the first.
First of 5.
Yeah, I mean, on this particular unit, 3606, this will be the first remount, and then it can be remounted one more time after that.
There's actually not a minimum that can be remounted. There's really not.
But it has to pass inspection.
Yeah, it has to pass inspection.
Case in.
But they usually, like I said, that would be a part of the upgrades on the box with this new unit as well. Like I said, they'd be upgrading the air conditioning, heating, the electrical system, all that kind of thing. So, I mean, as long as the box is in good shape, you can remount a box 10 times if you want to. But, I mean, there's not an actual, but I've talked to Justin about that before, because I've heard that, and he said, no, he said, you can mount a box as many times as you want, as long as it's safety, as long as it's safe. So, I mean, it's good. I mean, our boxes are all very good. Our boxes are in very good condition. So, and that's also, we would also not be having to deal with a lot of graphics, because the only graphics we would have to put on the truck would be the cab.
Right.
And that would be it. We wouldn't have to put graphics back on the box because they're already on it. He had told me that they would fix the little dings and the pings in the box, because there is a couple of those. He put new latches on the doors, things like that. I think it would be a very good thing to get it going and get it planned out, because, like I said, it's gonna take a while before we can get it. So, but,
Well, it just makes good sense to remount instead of buying a new one, because you're saving half the total amount, basically.
oh yeah, no doubt. And like I said, them power loads is what adds a ton of money to them things. We've already got all of them. So we're that far up the hill.
After this truck, you'll have a down year, and then you'll have 2 years in a row where you have 2 more trucks back to back for remounts in consecutive years. That'd be 29 and 30.
Okay, when this thing is in the shop for 6 months, go ahead.
He said from the time it would go into the shop, he said it'd be about 120 days. So,
okay.
And the thing of it is, the nice thing is we could drive it there, drop it off, and then they do their thing. And he said it'd be about 120 days. So,
And we have an extra backup
yes,
for things like this.
yeah.
Okay.
We still have 4 units available to us while that truck is getting done.
Yeah. Okay. We're just getting this, Gerald.
Well, I think it's a good idea to proceed with it, especially if there's no money down.
So if the council don't approve it, we can always cancel the order.
We'd have to look at the contract, make sure. Justin told me at one time that it happened one time with the service, somewhere around, not us, but somewhere around this area, where they had ordered the truck, and somehow or something flip-flopped, and they couldn't get it. And they ended up selling the truck out. The only thing is remounts, they've got our chassis. So, you'd have to, it would be,
Well, we'd get the approval before they ever receive our truck
yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't see that being an
Before we
issue.
ever drove it up there and let it go, we made sure the council
Right.
said, yes, you can do it.
Cause this is so far out ahead, we got another whole budget to go through.
Right,
before that,
right.
so.
Right. So,
Yeah, that's what it is. Like I said, you know, the thing of it is, if, like I said, if I could call him today and say, yeah, we'd like to proceed with it, then, you know, we'd have to sign some stuff with him. Cause like I said, I've got all that on my computer. He sent that last night. So all that would be signed out and then just, you know, then we'd be good to go. You know, we would be in line. We would be, you know, taking our turn. And then they would, as soon as he was able to get us in line and get it going, and he'd call me up and say, Tony, bring that truck up there. We're ready to get started on it. It'll be about 3 months. So.
Does the county have a fleet number? Does the county have a number from?
Sourcewell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in here. It is, he, on these two things here, I can show them to you.
Oh, that's fine.
This is only copy I made, but this is just the two, pages that I printed out. Yeah, the Sourcewell contract number was 092424-NCL.
Next time you're on the phone with him, you might ask him if there's anything we can do on this end to make the chassis somewhat cheaper. I mean, there's times that they know the ins and outs dealing with the dealers, whether it's a Ford or GM chassis or whatever. You know, they know the ins and outs of being able to get that.
Stay away from GM chassis.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Excuse me.
So, I can contact him and ask him about that, and then
Here's
give
my-
you guys a call or something.
I guess what I'm getting at, and Bubba and Todd can probably recall, certain companies that have connected with Ford, and Ford will give them, if they've got X number of vehicles, and they buy X number of vehicles over a certain period of time, they would qualify for discounted pricing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know whether Washington County would qualify for that or not. Probably.
I would think they'd get a bigger discount than
I
what
think
we
they
would,
do.
because they purchased so many.
Yeah, I think in the past.
Probably saving money on that aspect of it. They built car salesmen, so.
That's, yeah, the
Because they
fleet,
buy in quantity.
the fleet part of it's
Yeah.
where they're gonna save money.
Yeah.
So
I really don't think, I really don't think we'd be able, I just don't think we'd be able to get anything any cheaper. Like I said, because they're a bulk. They got tons of them things.
And more likely they buy under fleet discount.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guarantee it.
But I'll call him up and ask him and see, and just kind of ask him on what to, ask him just get back with you and just see what we can do.
you know, not saying we are considering it, but if we had a little bit extra push and a little extra help somewhere, we'd proceed with the project.
If we
Couldn't you
we
call us?
postpone this vote until next month, would we still get it before 2028?
It would be, I don't know, it's kind of, the more people that jumps ahead of us, the longer it's gonna be pushed out.
Make a
So
recommendation to do that.
that's the only thing. I mean, it may work, it may not.
Hey, Bubba, why can't
So
you,
then-
can you just call a special session for the council?
We could,
I mean, that would alleviate a lot more. Everybody could chew on it and feel a lot more comfortable about it. And you can have it done quickly instead of having to wait for the next session.
I think we talked a little bit about that during our last budget session, just that we knew this was coming, so
It's been talked about.
be prepared,
Yeah, but
Let's go ahead and vote on it, and then at the next regular council meeting, we'll present it to the council to make sure it's all copacetic, and then, of course, then will come budgets in April. But I don't see that we have a choice. We are mandated by the state of Indiana to provide an ambulance service, And part of providing an ambulance service by state law is having ambulances. So I'll ask for a motion
So
to
moved.
proceed.
So moved. I'll entertain that motion.
Second.
Moved by Gerald, second by Bubba. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We'll plan on being at the March council meeting in case there's any questions.
Yep.
That is March what?
5.
5?
March 5th.
Okay.
I believe that's right.
Second, March
It's actually the second.
Oh, sorry.
March 5 will be the next ambulance meeting.
Oh,
That's good. Yeah. All right.
And then, other two things I have is, have we got any updates on the sewer lines up there? I know there was, Greenwell had, came up there and had, rooted it out again. And then they, and I think Tony had him come back and they scoped the main line, from the clean out down to the manhole. And Greenwell, when they scoped it, they said there was a -5. I'm not a plumber, don't claim to be. But they said a -5, the pipe is almost flat, almost to a little bit of an uphill climb. They said they could replace the system from the inside of the building. They could go out the west side of the building where they wouldn't have to tear everything up so bad. They could go out the west side of the building and run around the property on the outside and come in and hook into the main line, just reroute everything. They could do that. But they also said, but we could do that, but that main line, he said, if it's at that -5, he said, you're gonna run in kind of the same issue that you got here now. He said, so he said it would be best if everything got fixed at the same time. They came up, then Temple, I guess, showed up, back when it was a couple weeks ago, and they pulled the manhole cover up, looked and went in, and then they took a camera and went in there too. They actually found another obstruction in there. And I asked the guy that done it, I didn't know who he was, but I asked him while I was standing out there, I said, he said there was 1.5 inches of water behind that one obstruction. And I said, it was just Greenwell was up there just a couple of days before and had went in from the clean out into the building and got that obstruction cleared out. So, it kind of makes sense to me if that pipe's going uphill, if they knock that obstruction out in the building, and then it ends up getting stuck again in the line, halfway down the building, kind of makes sense to me that something's not functioning right. But I don't know, that guy told me that he said he thought there was plenty of fall there. But I just seem like I'm told something different every time somebody comes up. So well, do you have flow now? Do you have flow?
Depends on when you want to go over
Yeah.
Well, Phil has been up there
that's how bad it
a
is.
few times the last couple of weeks, talking with Paul. Of course, they put it in, they're responsible. If something has to be done, to me, it's on them. Warranty wise, if you want to call that warranty. It's got to have the proper fall. And he is going to do some things like replacing the commode to instead of a one that's like, what, 1.7 gallon, put a standard old fashioned 3 gallon. Phil doesn't seem to think that it's getting enough water to do what it's supposed to be doing correctly. So going to try a few things before we get into a major construction project. So
Well, it's got them turbo flush things in there now.
Sure does.
now I'm talking about not the pressure, which is what those are. I'm talking about volume.
But they thought that the pressure torch was gonna take care of the issue, which it seemed like it did for a short time.
And rather than digging the whole thing up, it might, if we could, we might have to put a pump in.
Something, yeah.
I know
But,
it's-
like I said, it's just, two companies, I mean, I understand how that goes, but.
Yeah.
It seems like one company will tell you something, but they don't want to have to do it. It costs them money to do it, so it's, like I said, Greenwell been up here a bunch of times, when we've had these issues and like I said, they finally scoped that main line and that's what they were saying, so.
All we know is there's an issue. We keep having to clean up.
And I know some of your issues, you've got, unfortunately, you have some people up there not using good judgment on what they put down the toilet too, so we run into that, so.
Yeah, we have. We talked to everybody. I've got a memo up, done everything I can do. But, it's also.
All right, I think you told me yesterday that you're in the process of getting that minor damage fixed on the deer incident you had.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it busted a rear fender flare on the truck. I didn't do anything else to it. I've got that ordered. It's like $250, and then shipping costs a fortune because it's got to come from Canada. So shipping's usually a flat because I just ordered one of those. So I know how much they're going to run because we had a damaged one on one of the other units. So I think the flare was like $250, and then the shipping is like $170. So shipping cost damn near what the part cost. So
Are those reversible? Is there a right and a left, or are they?
they're right and left, yeah. And like I said, they don't need to be painted. They already come painted, so that saves me money there. So the only thing I need to do is just find somebody that can unbolt and put it on. We might be able to do that ourselves, but the bolts they're up there, they're hid. So it might be better to just take the body shop, because I had body shop out of Ford put on the one before, because we had an aluminum one that had got bent.
Yeah.
And I got tired of looking at it and replaced it, and they put it on for me out there. It took them 20 minutes to do it. So we're not going to be out a ton of money on that. So but that was just a deer ran across like they usually do. Ran across, ran right into the side of it, popped the fender flare on it. So. But I've got it ordered, and I ordered it from McQueen. Should get it within 2 or 3 days or so. I'll get that taken care of.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, sir. On this snow blade install we talked about.
Yeah.
What,
I haven't done anything yet. I'd heard, first of all, I got a question for you. Is that ton up there that you got sitting inside the ton truck, is it a regular cab?
no, it's a king cab or 4-door cab.
before, they're called keep.
That, I mean, that plow, I've not looked at the plow to see how badly it's damaged, but
Well, I was when I was up here the other day at that one meeting, they were back there talking about it. And they said that it was, pretty, yeah, put it mildly. They said it had, like several leaks in it.
Multiple welds.
Yeah. And multiple welds on the blade and done.
it's old.
Yeah, it's old. I heard them over saying that they thought they were, gonna do something for themselves over there at the sheriff's department.
They already have. They bought a new truck and apparently gonna get a new blade.
I've done all that.
Tommy's gonna be the operator, then I really don't see any need really for us now to, as bad as that old blade is and trying to fix it. And that thing being a 4-door, I'd forgotten about that. Not really the handiest thing. It's like putting a snowplow on a school bus.
They still say they're turning around, it.
The only thing I was looking at was, I mean, it's, I mean, like I said, that, and then I heard that it got damaged and that truck was pretty much, needed to be replaced.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. And, also, it would be something that we could take care of our stuff ourselves. We wouldn't have to depend on somebody else to do it. I wouldn't have to be calling people 3 o'clock in the morning to, get a parking lot plowed or something, that kind of thing. Plus the issue, if a truck couldn't get in somewhere, like in a driveway or something, we could use that to get the ambulance in and out if we had to, but if we,
That could be another use for that ATV y'all been wanting to put a plow on that.
yeah,
Here's the fun.
that would be,
Don't lie.
I knew it was coming though.
might be able to buy me a little wizard 10-horse wizard lawnmower, put a little blade on it, good.
We've had, during this storm, we've had 9 runs so far with extended driveways. We've had to wait for help with ATVs or monster 4-wheel drive trucks to get up these long ass driveways. We had one, about a half-mile long driveway that we never got somebody out.
At least.
And we had another one just 3 days ago that was a driveway down on Power Line Road. The house literally sat on top of the hill, and the guy weighed about 400 pounds. And they said, I didn't go on that one. I was busy fixing my furnaces and went out. But I had to wait on the ATV from Salem to get all the way out on Power Line out to Gibson to get the patient's out. So there is a need for that UTV. Multiple needs. Because even what Salem has, technically, the bed's not long enough to actually hold the place for the stokes basket and everything. That's a firefighting rig they got. I mean, it's better than what we got, which is nothing. I mean, it does work, but it's, to do it right and safely, you need one that's the right size and everything with the right bed on the back. I mean, what they got's greatly appreciated, it really is. But sometimes you need what you really need to get the job done.
All right, anything else?
No, I guess that's, so we, just to make sure we're nixed on the snow blade install and just that way I don't have to, that way I don't have to plan on anything else.
Well, in the past, I know that old truck Tommy was using, he typically, he plowed out the area so the police cars could get in and out. And then immediately went up to plow yours before he started on parking lot at the government building or the big parking lot up above. So if they got a brand new truck, I see no reason why they can't continue on the same schedule. And they'll probably get it done a lot quicker because there'll probably be a lot more enthusiasm to do it, because I know Tommy didn't like that old truck.
Yeah.
Cause it was worn out and, had an exhaust manifold leaked fumes up in the cab. He didn't like you. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to either. You know, you have to have the heater on full blast and the windows open so you didn't choke to death. So,
Well, that's fine. I mean, like I said, I remember, one time, a couple of years ago, Tommy was, when they had that operating and, we had that one snow and I called him and he said, well, he said, if I can get out, he couldn't even get out his driveway, he said.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, okay, so it's like, well, how are we gonna get this lot cleared? So,
yeah, I know that's a problem at times. It certainly would make good sense to have a vehicle with a plow on it, sitting inside where it's warm, where you just open the door and there you go. You're ready to go to work. We'll, before we totally throw in the towel on that, I'll get up there and look at, see how bad this old plow is damaged. Doesn't sound too good though, but it might be something that would work. We don't need something new. Those things are probably up to $20,000, $15,000 now for a new plow. So
I don't know what to.
Occasionally there may be another option to just keep them eyes open. There may be something coming for sale with snowplow. I've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
With truck, snowplow, guys tired of doing it.
Yeah.
Just sell it. That's really what we need. It'd be great if we had something like that.
Yeah, you need to buy those in July.
Yeah. They're for sale a lot. You gotta watch.
They are, yeah.
Well, I got one thing for the council. Back during the budget hearings for this year's budget, we passed out some stuff on the townships maybe being able to help out. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at that or not. Technically, each run come up with what we done last year was $137 per run shortfall. We made gross $438 per run last year, which left us a shortfall of $137 per run. We still have them reports where we can see what township owed what. And with what got posted out the other day, with what all the townships' monies had, every one of them had money to help cover the cost of the stipend we get. So if there's a money shortfall, townships still have money to cover the remainder of this cost. You guys had a chance to look at that, some of the laws that we printed off and handed to you guys.
It's an excellent idea.
That's all fine and dandy, but townships are separate taxing units.
I know it's separate.
And you would have to
Laws we printed off.
to every township and ask them. And you know what they're gonna say. We appreciate what you guys do, but we have this money earmarked for other things.
We got a trustee sitting there. You familiar with what he's talking about?
I am not. I'm not opposed to looking at it.
Well, I didn't bring that paperwork with me, but there was laws that was wrote in place with this Senate Bill 1 or whatever it was, that we printed off two different ones, the township can help out and should help out. So I just throwing that out there, asking anybody looked into it, because I know you guys said you were gonna look into it. That's why I'm asking the council.
Yeah.
If people will share it, I'm more than happy to look into it and see.
All right, what's your name?
Jennifer Bowers,
What trustee are you? What township?
Monroe.
What the? She's like a bulldog when she goes investigating stuff.
Well, just for you from Monroe, to help out do your fair share of what runs we made, you would need to help out $3,973 for the fair share of your runs last year.
That was an excellent idea.
Yeah.
That money's there. It's taxpayer money. There may be some hoops that's gotta be jumped, but
It was 29 runs in Monroe Township last year.
But we can't mandate that
No,
as a county.
But each trustee has a board. Each
It would be.
township has a
strict-
board. They have-
Like I said, I'm not the lawyer or anything else. I just-
Volunteer.
Got to start somewhere, right?
I start somewhere with the Senate Bill 1, the way I read it, there was laws in place that it wasn't an ask, it could be by the council of each county could also, it was me just reading into it. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, that's why I brought it to you guys and even gave a copy to you guys as a lawyer to look into. Not that person, although I know it looked like there was some opportunities there to help out because you guys kept going on about monies are short. We understand that. We don't want to raise taxes.
Even more so now.
Yeah, and you got townships sitting there, several of them, not all of them, but several of them sitting there with quite a bit of money sitting there. It's like, here we are sitting here struggling as a county. It's like, should there be some help out? And that Senate Bill 1, what I read in there was like, it looks like townships, they're part of the county. We provide a service to those townships. And it looks like Ridge Road, there's ample opportunity there, maybe. Like I said, no, we don't know.
There's 2 bills rolling through right now for township rehabilitation. Is that a good way to say it? I know I kind of tracking one, I lost track of what happened. I know it passed one or the other.
They're both still, there's a House bill and a Senate bill. They have both moved to the next phase.
So they both moved on.
They both moved. They're
Oh,
very opposite in their intentions, but they are both looking to efficiently better make township government more efficient, merge in some capacity.
We could probably change what you're talking about if one of them was to pass, so.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know about the language in Senate Bill 1 that he's talking about, but I don't doubt
I'll
it's
get,
there.
I'll
Yeah,
email it to
and
you.
I would like to see that. The 2 bills, my opinion, the 2 bills that are there regarding townships, mergers, consolidation, the Senate bill is the better bill. The House bill leaves a lot of things out, that if a township is functioning properly and providing the services that they should be providing, the House version of that is going to tear that apart. The Senate bill is more of a consolidation based on the ones that are functioning, absorbing the ones that aren't functioning, so that you can still continue to provide those services. I've been tracking those in other agencies, and there is a lot more support from other entities, like the Volunteer Firefighters Association, even Indiana Farm Bureau has an interest in those. And all of those entities support the Senate version as well.
Have those bills been passed, or are they waiting for passage?
They made it to one
Both of those
step.
are the next
They
stage.
moved the next foot. Problem with that SB 1, it's changed about 48 times since they originally introduced the bill.
I'm saying these big levels, need to change that again.
It's been all over the board.
Anyway, that was just an option. I just want to know if anybody done any further investigation on it or not, because like I said, the numbers are readily available. They are pretty accurate.
Got the ball rolling.
Yes.
Well, I was trustee on the Vicky Pierce Township Board for several years. That's just an excellent idea, I think, because there is money in most townships that just sitting in the bank.
About 60% of our runs, the one big township's Washington Township. That's where the bulk of our runs, it's like 63% of our runs are. The outlier townships ain't as bad, but your second highest one is Pierce, and your third highest one's Oak. So, and it's not that big of a bite off of them. It's Washington Township would take a big chunk.
That's the largest
Yeah.
population.
Yeah, their fair share will be 223,000.
All right, well, thing to do is to keep asking questions, poke and prod, and
Yep.
go from there. Anything else?
No, I believe that about wraps my part of it.
Okay. All right. You guys have anything?
Have nothing.
County highways, you got guys done an outstanding job, just FYI.
Yeah, we-
Roads ahead of us, they got out there in the height of some of the storms was ahead of us, get the roads and stuff ready for us. They done a good job.
Appreciate you guys too.
Well, there is a motion to adjourn on the floor.
Motion to adjourn made by
Right here.
Mr. Fleming,
Second.
second by Bubba. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.